welcome everybody to another great episode of Real Life Matters. And of course, I'm your host, DBoss. And I'm just encouraging everybody, you can watch me Monday to Friday from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Caribvision is shown in 28 different countries, including the UK. And if you want to see yourself, BellFibe on channel 658, you could view us there. And if you've missed any of the episodes, you could go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, like, share, DBoss Networks, and you can look at all the episodes with all the guests. And I also encourage you to like the stuff the guests have. Go to their channels. Also, if they have books, if they're having an event going on, if you're in that area, I encourage you to attend because they need all the support you can get. So, and also you could subscribe to Caribvision channel. I think it's like about $1.50 or $2 or something like that to subscribe. So you could see all the other wonderful shows that are on Caribvision on a daily basis. But anyways, I've been giving some tips on laughing. Laughing is healthy for you. So I'm encouraging everybody to laugh every day if you want to keep looking youthful and nice and fresh. And, it releases those endorphins out of your body. If you don't have anybody to laugh with, go find someone to laugh with or look at something funny. And they even have laughing classes, if it's that serious that you can't find anybody to laugh with. And it also tones your abs and it warms up your vocal cords. So for people that, I just encourage you to do that, love yourself. Laugh, because because if you're always mean and pent up, it lowers your blood pressure. It releases all those nice endorphins. But anyways, I have a real special guest on today. She was one of the first people, first few group of people that I did on my show some years ago. And she came and she gave her testimony and she told everybody. And a lot of people have called in. A lot of people reached out to her to let her know that touched them. And they didn't really know how to deal with a lot of the stuff that was going on with her story. So now she's back here today. Well, she's advanced from evangelist. Now she's a reverend. And she's also one of my sisters in Christ. So, with no other further ado, I'm going to introduce to you YVONNE REID. And she's going to tell us about her new book that she's released.
Hey, DBoss, it's so good to see you. Amen. And you're looking so beautiful as usual.
Thank you.
Usual.
I tell you.
Thank you for inviting me again to come on to your show. I'm just really excited about my new book. So yes. I'm just gonna let you go ahead and do the interview, but I just want to say thank you again. And girl, you're looking hot. You're looking good.
Yeah, thank you. Well, you're looking good too. I didn't see you in a few years. So
thank you.
Okay, so here everybody at Real Life Matters like to know everybody where their cultural background came, where you come from, so you can tell people that.
So my cultural background is I don't know if you can hear the accent already because it didn't leave me. I've been in Canada how many years, but I still have my West Indian, Jamaican, Patois accent. It chips in and out. Okay, I'm from Jamaica. I was born in Clarendon, Jamaica, and okay. I left from Clarendon when my mom left Clarendon when I was about 2 years old and went down to Hanover, Jamaica, and then she migrated to Canada and left me in Jamaica to grow with my grandparents.
Well, that's okay, because we always like to know, because we got people from all over the place that they come, and then maybe they can connect with you or relate with you. So we got people from all different backgrounds, so they all.
So big up Jamaica, big up the Caribbean countries, big up Clarendon and Hanover, just big up the whole place, right? Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you said what part you're from, because people is calling, people say, "Oh, I'm from Jamaica," and then they don't say anything else.
Right. They would say that Hanover is the country, and they like to say Clarendon and these part of Jamaica is the country because it's not Kingston, but I don't believe that. I'm not a country girl. We're from Clarendon, and Clarendon is just a city as anywhere else, So yeah.
Okay. So you're being, you've everything with you is growing. Now you have a church too, right? So tell us a little bit about your church that you have?
Well, I do have the church that we have though. It's an online church.
That's
All
okay.
right. It's just. I mean, one thing the difference between an online church and a physical church is that the Bible says that we shouldn't forsake the assembling together. So sometimes you just want to have that hug, and that touch and that taste or seeing each other in church is such an amazing thing. But the online church is sometimes you feel the energy of the people and that you are ministering to on the online church. So yes, I do have an online church since COVID came in 2022, and we've been up there. We gone. We haven't come down, and we're up there. We're doing an amazing job up there. A lot of young people getting saved up there, and it's just an awesome place. Eventually, even if we step out to go into a physical building, we're still gonna keep the online church because there's people that's not mobile, and there's people that coming from work at the late time, and so we have a different kind of audience coming on to the Love Church. It's on Instagram for anyone who wants to come on and watch us. We're there every Sunday morning. We're also there during the week. We have different programs. So just check us out on Instagram, on the Love Church. And it's a big round heart with the Love Church in the center of it.
And then
Yeah.
Yvonne's all around it.
Yeah. Amen.
All
That's
right.
it. Yeah.
All right. So, well, big news here. You write a book, Gangsta.
Hey,
The Parables of a Lost Sheep. So tell us what inspired you to write this book.
My life inspired me to write this. My life is a big. Like if I was supposed to write everything in this book about my life, I probably need a couple thousand books, right? But this book, what inspired me was my life and the experiences, things that I've experienced in my life, people that I've experienced in my life, things that I've gone through. It's what inspired me to write the book. Wanted my struggles, wanted my pain to be another person's inspiration and another person's deliverance. And I've been seeing that,
Well, people that don't know you and they haven't seen you, and I interviewed you, did your testimony, and you told everybody on in the interview what you went through. You just mentioned something to you that that you could tell that's in the book. You don't have to write out the whole book. They can go buy it because you probably got more in the book than when you did your testimony. So just tell everybody something about you that so if they can relate to you, and people are tuning in from all over.
People are tuning. Okay. So and I'm not gonna tell you everything that's in my book, so please go and get the book. But and another my publisher said to me, listen, your book has about 10 other books in there. So you need to go in there, and there's topics in there about domestic violence. You need to do something more on that. There's topics in there about, mother and having a stepfather relationship, having a relationship with a stepfather. And there's different things in there about, with you and your mother and what you guys went through, and the drugs that you were, another story about your drugs. Like he's saying that you can write so many more books from Gangsta because there's so much in there. The book is very transparent. It's very candid. All right. I share my vulnerability with a lot of people because I believe that my book can bring healing. A part of my story was what I went through as a little girl in Jamaica, and what people who has read the book said, this just kind of lead them in the area of making sure that their eyes are on their children, making sure that they talk to their children, they build a relationship with their children, because sometimes kids go through things, and because they're afraid, they hide it. So it's my story. A part of my story is, things that, and I love my grandparents. I love my mother. They can only give what they have. They can't just give more than what they have. And so, part of my story is just talking about being in Jamaica before I migrated to Canada at 7 years old. Being in Jamaica, I've gone through some little things as a young girl, being touched and sexually and these little things, and not be able to talk about it, but carry it in me, right? Coming to Canada with it, carrying these things because I wasn't really aware of really what was going on with me. But I'm, coming to Canada, I was able to understand what, because you're going to school and because you're around people, you start understanding what sexual abuse was. You start understanding, what was right from what wasn't wrong. And these things kind of open up my eyes to a lot of things. So in my story, at the beginning of my story, I talk about my life back home in Jamaica before I migrated to Canada. And I had an amazing story in there. There's some good times in there what we spoke about with me and my siblings and my grandparents. But there was also some horrific times where I had to deal with. I came to Canada when I was 7 years old. So then what age did you go through abuse? So what age did somebody touch you? That was I was between 5 and 6 years old when I was being molested and all of these things. So that's in the book.
And that's a hard topic to tell your parents, because then your parents might think you making up a story or something.
Right.
And then, and that's always the case, because I've had people that have come on and guests and stuff that I've interviewed, and they said they had that same thing and they couldn't really tell their parents, or maybe it was their uncle, or maybe it was their stepfather or something like that. And how are you going to tell that to your mother? They'll next you turn around and they're abusing you, thinking that you're telling a lie about it.
And that's right. And that's so true, the boss. And even, I thank God that my mom migrated me to Canada, because a part of my story was talking about this man that was always just like, touching me and things like that. And I figured he was just preparing me, for the kill, just preparing me to, so my mom took me up to Canada. So I guess maybe if I got a couple more years older, probably he would have moved in and just get to do more than what he did to me. So, and that topic is something that I really want to expand on. So many things in my book. I gave people my life. I gave people my story. And that part there, I want to expand more on it, only because when I talk about these things, I get young people calling me. I get young boys calling me and telling me how uncle I turned them into. Sometimes we see people out there, homosexuals, and we see people out there going through these things, and we don't understand how did he become why and how did the person become a homosexual or a lesbian, and all of these things. And so I got young guys calling me and telling me, because you're so real, because you are so transparent, I want to share this with you because this is something that I'm carrying. And I don't just know who to talk to, and I'm getting frustrated. And sometimes I just don't care anymore because of these things that I've dealt with as a young boy. And they will tell me things like uncle raped them. They will tell me things like uncle have them watching pornography, and then uncle would have them practice the same thing so these are the things. And when I started begin to see that, when I share, because me, I don't hold back. Like, I hold back when I want to hold back, but I give what I know that can help a lot of people. And when I start to give up my life out there, that was the reaction that I was getting back from young people, and seeing how it helped them to talk about it. And so that even inspired me to push my book. At one point, I've been reading my book for 4 years, but at one point, I had to go back in my book, and I said, no, I'm not going to hold back on this anymore. I'm going to talk about it so parents can now talk to their children. Parents can now be more, is it more careful or watchful, because these are not people that's strangers. Well, these are people that's in your inner circle that's abusing your child or abusing.
Well, they recognize the signs.
Exactly.
Of why your kid is being that way. Maybe whenever that certain person comes to the house, they go to their bedroom.
Exactly.
Or they go outside on the porch, or they try to find something to do. You know what I mean? So those are things that happen. And then also, I know you have a part because you did the testimony. Yes, I know people are going to go back and look at it. I know. But when you had how God delivered you from the drug use.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot.
A big thing. That was a big one that people reached out for you about.
That was a big one as well, So that again too. I mean, like, there's stories upon stories. There's stories with my siblings. There's things that we had, we when you grow up together and then you're just pull away from each other, and all of these. There's a lot of stories. My book, it touches how beautiful Jamaica is, and how, you know, beautiful it is growing up with your grandparents. And, you know, so it's not just a book that you're going to read and you're going to be crying and you're going to be like, oh, sad. It's a book that's going to make you laugh. It's a book that's going to make this suspense. What's next? What's going to happen next? And no, there's parts in it that's going to ask you, you know, you're going to question yourself. And there's other parts in it where you would want to just hold on to that specific person that's in that book at that present and just beat them up or do something, because how could they do that? So it's a really, and I'm getting that. People are calling me, you need to get this into a movie. This needs to be a movie. This cannot just, you know, you need to do something more with this book. So, you know.
Yeah, and then also the reason you came up behind Gangsta, you know, you called the book Gangsta.
There
so people are gonna wonder why did you call the book Gangsta? So tell them that.
So, you know, again, you know, it's why did I call it Gangsta? But how did I come to call that book Gang? How did I come to call myself Gangsta? Gangsta was just when I was in the dance hall, you know, and you know, me and my friends, we used to hang around, and you know, like, you know, that was just a dance hall name. It was a dance hall name. People just wanted to call us Gangsta because we act like little, you know, gangster, and we act rough and hooliganish, and you know, we're, you know, and so, you know, we went to the DJ one night, and I said, you know, don't call me Yvonne anymore. Don't call her. You know, we're the Gangster Crew, not knowing that, you know, really and truly,
that name comes with a lot of.
Yeah, not knowing that name, but also that name Gangsta was not just birthed in the dance hall. That name Gangsta birthed from a child growing up because of the things that I've experienced, and you know, things that I've gone through. What people have to understand, that there is a root cause to things that we have gone through in life. There's a root cause why she's behaving the way she behaves. There's a root cause why that young man is walking on the street corner and carrying a gun, or that young girl is out there prostituting. And when I know in my life, I realized that Gangsta was not really about the dancer, but Gangsta came out of what I've gone through, and it made me become very callous at times. You know, the name kept me. I was, you know, being called Gangsta, and you know, you got to be careful of the names that you call yourself or you call somebody, because then you become that name. So people think, well, it's just a fun name, it's just a dancehall name, but then all of a sudden, you know, I started to feel like that gangster. I started to want to be around the gangsters. And all of these things. So the name Gangsta came.
And then you even had a Dawn.
I remember that. So it's DBoss, you don't do. I know my testimony. I said to myself, like, those, when I just came into the church, I was so excited about my life and how God turned my life around. And I remember DBoss caught me at that time. So I was just spilling my guts. Never knew that I was gonna write a book. Couple years later on. But you know what? A lot is in her videos.
She loves shoes.
Yes, I love shoes. I love shoes. Those are my I love fashion.
Any old shoe, expensive, nice looking shoes.
Yeah. So that's my I started that. I created that designer name, and I wanted to start my own. You know, I always say, God, you know, I just love creating things. I just love dressing up. I just love nice things, you know, because, you know, when you grew up in certain churches, you're taught to dress a certain way. You're taught to look a certain way. So even me coming into the church from the dance hall, coming into the church, it was kind of it was challenging for me, because, you know, I would like to wear my wigs. Like, this is my signature. I like to wear my different color wigs, but it doesn't change my heart. It doesn't change who I am. It doesn't change, you know, and so I tried to fit in, but it didn't work for me. So I just had to be myself. And I said, God, you know, but then I realized, I said, God, you are a creator. When you look at the water, the sea and the color of it, and when you look at the different fruits and the different things and the colors and all of these things, you know, I said, I'm my daddy's daughter. That's who I am. I am my daddy's daughter, you know, so.
Well,
my life is
the journey is going, and the journey is still going with you.
It's still going with me. It's still going. What I can say about my book, again, because we're up here talking about my book, and what I can say about Gangsta, Parables of the Lost Sheep, and you know, I'm getting a lot of compliment on the cover. The cover, there's so much it's like a puzzle, the cover. When you look at it, seeing this, seeing the numbers up here, there's a meaning to the numbers, right? And the more you read the book, you'll understand the name, Gangsta, the Problem of the Lost Sheep. And a lot of people, I'm getting so much compliment on just the cover of the book. And I said, read the book. And people text me back and said, everything just fit right in the cover, just reading the story. This book is a deliverance book in itself. It's a deliverance book in itself. People are being touched by it. And, just want you to go out and get a copy of Gangsta, Parable of the Lost Sheep. And I know that there's something in it for you, because it touches on a lot of areas and issues that people face in life, and how do they overcome it, and all of these things. It's a very good book. And
And how much is the book?
Well, the book is on Amazon. There's a little glitch going on Amazon right now with the book, because they had to make a change, and because of that. But I want to say that anything that you're doing, and if you're not getting a fight, if you're not struggling or getting a fight, you ain't going nowhere. If you ain't getting people hating you, girl, or whoever I'm speaking to out there, if you're having people hating you, fighting against you because you decide to start a business, or because you decide to write a book, or whatever it is that you decide to do, the fight is going to come. The struggle is going to come. The pain is going to come, right? But that's what's going to make you look back and see where you're coming from. That's what's gonna push you even further, to know that you have gone through so much and you're where you're at, and you have achieved, you have been successful. The fight must come. My friend said to me, she just made a song. She says, my song is, the fight must come before the fruit. Okay? And I want you all to know that the struggle must come. It must come.
Yes. All right. So how much is the book about?
So yes, the book is on Amazon. You can also get in touch with me if you're in Canada and you want me to, you can call me at 647-760-6021. That's my phone number. My email address is readyvonne@gmail.com. And you can send me an email and we can get the book sent to you. Also, you can get the book on Amazon. On Amazon, the book is $25 Canadian, $18 and probably 35 US. Okay. We only have one copy left right now on Amazon, so they're gonna restock. There's a little glitch, like I said, going on up there, so just give it maybe a few days or so, but get Gangsta. If you're a reader, if you don't even read a lot, once you start this book, you're not going to want to come out. You're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, you're gonna be in suspense, you're gonna be angry, you're gonna want to beat up some of the characters in the book.
She forgot to give me my copy, people.
I'm gonna give you your copy. You're gonna there's some of the characters in this book that you're gonna want to beat up. All right. There's characters in this book that you're gonna be loving, and so it's that kind of book, right? And very intriguing, very adventurous, dramatical. Everything is in this book. Gangsta, Parable of the Lost Sheep. And I'm excited about this book. I'm so excited about it. I see it going places. Okay, so guys, please help me to take it places. Help me to take it places. Yeah.
All right. So, are there any shout outs that you want to give to people?
Shout out to the Love Church, all of my love family out there, my young people. They know Mama love them. They call me Mama in the Love Church, and I just love every one of them. And I just pray that every interview I do, I will always remember them. There's young people. I am pushing them. I am really pushing them. I am telling them that this is the year, this is the time of movements. And I want everybody, because the Bible says that the word of God says that God gives us power to get wealth. So we have the power on the inside of us because the Holy Spirit lives on the inside of us. Therefore, I don't want no couch potato. I don't want nobody pity partying. I want everybody to get up. Everybody has a purpose in them. God has placed a purpose in them. And this is what I speak to my young people about. So I'm bigging up all of the Love Church family out there. You don't know. Mama love you Mama love you all. All right. And also I just want to big up my children. They're also in the book. I want to send out the love to all of them. Tivon, to Mar, I'm going to say Tivon, to Sean, to Mar, to Visha, and to Mika, and my son-in-laws, Dean and Adrian. And I just want to big up all my grandchildren. I love my grandchildren. And I just want to big up all my grandchildren and my family out there, all of the leaders, the pastors, the people that encourage me. The boss, you're one of them. And that's what I love about you. You're very encouraging. You are so loving, and you're kind. So I just also want to big you up on what you're doing up here. The boss, you are doing an awesome job up here, right?
Thank you.
Real life's mother. And I love
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah. Real life. So if people can follow you on your social medias, where can they go?
People want to follow me, please follow me at the Love Church. Also follow the Yvonne, THEE Yvonne on Instagram, and on Facebook it's just YVONNE REID on Facebook. All right, you can follow me there, and that's it. Please
All right.
also, when you get the book, guys, please give your sister a review. Go back on Amazon, give your sister a review. Let's support each other. Let's support each other. Let's encourage each other, and most of all, let's love each other. Right?
Right.
If we're gonna talk about love, we can't say that we love God and we don't love each other. So let's encourage each other. Let's not be the crab in the bucket mentality is done away with. Sisters, we fix each other crown. Brothers, we help each other out. All right, and that's what I want to say.
Yes, it is. So just stick around. Just stick around after we close out, because I want to talk to you. And also, I do want to thank you, YVONNE Reid, for sharing your journey, sharing your book. And I'm encouraging people, as I said, buy the book. Also, give the reviews. That helps everybody. And it's not just takes a second. It doesn't take long. Everybody's on social media. Everybody can give opinions now are public, because you're allowed to do that now. A long time ago, you didn't have social media, so we couldn't give an opinion.
That's right.
Now we can.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So it takes 2 seconds to give an opinion and send back the feedback. Reach out to YVONNE. I'm encouraging that. And also, I do want to thank the viewers tonight for tuning in here with YVONNE Reid and her Gangster, the parable of the lost sheep. And also, I do want to thank the viewers tonight for tuning in with me. And so anyways, so good night and bye for now.